right, so sine of 135 is here. Does everybody understand why that angle is right there? We've been doing that stuff, right? So how do we make it into a triangle? Draw a line straight down. So if this angle is 135, then what's the little angle right here in the corner of the triangle? This is 180. So to get from 135 to 180 is 45 degrees. So doesn't that triangle actually just have a 45-degree angle in it? Right? So this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So if the hypotenuse is 1, the opposite leg is square root of 2 over 2, and the adjacent leg is negative square root of 2 over 2, because it's an x value that's going negative. All we want to find is sine. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, which is square root of 2 over 2 over 1. So what's the answer? Square root of 2 over 2. Now why would I not want you to do this with a calculator? It gives you a decimal, which is no longer exact.
Why do they do that, actually?
Exact?
No, why is it not give you decimals?
There actually are calculators nowadays, fancy ones, that will actually give you an exact answer like this. But they're the ones they won't allow you to use on the test. So for now, they want you to memorize this stuff. And
next generation has fancy calculators. It costs them $100, and they can use that on the test while we do.
okay, cosine 5 pi fourths. What do we do first? Do you guys not want to do all these examples? You seem like you want to just move on. You want to just do it on your own. Can I just go through some of these quick? Okay, cosine of 5 pi fourths. Where will that be? Remember how you're supposed to start memorizing these? So 5 pi fourths is right here. It goes from 180 to, what is that? 225. So what's the reference angle? I guess I haven't actually defined reference angle yet, but it's okay. What's the angle in here? It's 45 again. No way. So what are our numbers again? Okay, so it's a negative square root of 2 over 2 this way and a negative square root of 2 over 2 that way, right? So if we're doing cosine, cosine would be adjacent over hypotenuse. And the adjacent side is negative square root of 2 over 2. And the hypotenuse is 1. So what's the answer? Negative square root of 2 over 2. If you accidentally forget the negative and write square root of 2 over 2, is it right or wrong? It is wrong. It's either right or wrong. So be really, really careful on those negatives. Okay. So I've got this list of different things. Do you want to just kind of go through some of them, some more of them? Or do you want to work through them on your own? These are, notice how these are all pi fourths ones. Oh, negative. Okay, let's do a negative one. What does negative mean? Tangent of negative 9 pi fourths. That's weird. We don't have that one memorized. Where does that one go? What does the negative mean? That means you're going backwards. And remember, all the way around once is 2 pi. What number would that be in fourths? Wouldn't it be 8 pi fourths? So if we're going to 9 pi fourths, then that means one more past that. So won't it be right here? Okay. What's the reference angle in the corner of my triangle? 45 again. So that gives me square root of 2 over 2. Actually, this one's negative because it's going down. And positive square root of 2 over 2. So to do tangent, I do opposite over adjacent. So negative square root of 2 over 2 over positive square root of 2 over 2. Which is a negative 1. Notice the slope of that line? Negative 1. Do you get the idea of these? The other examples I have here are ones that are 30s and 60s instead of 45s, because these were all 45s. So do you need some with 30s and 60s? Just one? Which one? Should we do negative 240? The tangent of negative 240 would start here. So here's negative 90, negative 180, and negative 270 would be here. Okay, sorry. So we start here, negative 90, negative 180, negative 270. So where's negative 240? Thank you. So here's negative 240 right there. So that would be what angle in here? 60 degrees, which is also pi over 3, yeah. So we're in the second quadrant, so x is negative, so x is negative 1/2, and y is positive square root of 3 over 2. So if we're doing tangent, we do y over x. So square root of 3 over 2 over negative 1/2. What does that reduce to? Negative square root of 3. Okay, you getting a feel for these? Okay, the thing is though, all of this process that I'm going through right now can be avoided. Let's just quickly see how. If you were to look at 135 and say, oh, 135 is just 45 degrees in the 45 degrees, but in the second quadrant. Where's my other circular thing? So that way, in the second quadrant, we know that sine is positive. So even though we're finding an angle in the second quadrant, we know that sine is positive, but it's going to be the same as the answer for sine of 45, which is square root of 2 over 2. And it's going to be positive because it's in the second quadrant. So when I just went through all these problems with you, I drew a triangle for each one and figured them out that way. But eventually, I want you to be able to just go from this chart that you've memorized and go from this all students take calculus that you memorize and be able to know any of these without having to draw the pictures. Does that seem scary? Is that a little scary? So today drawing pictures is just fine, but I'm just kind of giving you a goal to work toward. Okay, now last thing we need to do